Have you ever felt a strange, lingering sense that someone who knows you better than anyone, might be watching? Or perhaps you've experienced a powerful wave of déjà vu, one that left you wondering if you'd somehow crossed into a different version of reality. What if these strange moments were not just random, but messages from another version of you, reaching out from a parallel universe? Imagine, every choice you make could create an alternate life, a different you living out a different story. And sometimes, just sometimes, these versions might be trying to reach you. These moments of eerie familiarity, inexplicable emotions, and vivid dreams might be signs that your parallel self is trying to get your attention. Could your twin from another universe be trying to warn you, help you, or even beg for your assistance? Here are the most spine-chilling signs that your parallel self could be reaching out. Scientists and philosophers have long speculated about the existence of parallel universes, realities that exist alongside our own, yet slightly or vastly different. Imagine each choice you make as a fork in the road that creates a new reality, a branch where an alternate version of you exists, living out a life shaped by that choice. Every decision you make, from big ones like changing careers to small ones like taking a different route home, creates these possible realities. This means there could be countless versions of you, all existing at once in parallel worlds, each with unique experiences, perspectives, and even different personalities. Sometimes, these alternate versions might find ways to reach across the boundaries of their worlds to communicate. But why? Perhaps they have a warning, a lesson, or a message that could change the course of your life, if you're open to receiving it. Sign 1. Intense déjà vu moments. Déjà vu, that haunting, inexplicable feeling that you've been here before, even when you know you haven't. It's like hearing an echo from a place you can't quite reach, or catching the scent of something from a memory that isn't yours. In those moments, déjà vu feels as if you've stumbled into a thin space, a place where time and reality blur. You're walking down a familiar hallway or standing in a room, and suddenly, it's as if the walls are breathing with memories that don't belong to this life, but somehow they belong to you. Imagine your life as a path, winding forward with every step you take, but picture it surrounded by other paths, each one representing another version of you. Some are close, nearly touching, while others weave far off into places you can't even imagine. Every now and then, the paths cross, just for a second, like two waves meeting in the vast ocean, and that's when you feel it. A rush, a spark of familiarity so strong, it's as if you've stepped into a moment you already lived. Déjà vu, in this sense, isn't just a memory resurfacing. It's an invitation. It's a chance to peer through a hidden window and see another you on a different path. It's almost like reading a few lines from a book you didn't know you were writing. One where the words are yours, but the story doesn't quite match the life you're living. It's a glimpse into what could have been, or what might still be. In those moments of intense déjà vu, your life overlaps with another version of it. You're standing at the edge of both, with one foot planted in this world and another in a parallel one. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, gazing out over endless possibilities, yet only for an instant. The feeling passes quickly, but it lingers, leaving you wondering what you might have glimpsed. What other version of you was close enough to reach? Sometimes, déjà vu comes with an emotional charge, like a whisper that carries with it a wave of feelings you can't explain. It's as if a parallel self is trying to send you a message, leaving a trace of their life in yours. You sense it deeply, a joy, a sorrow, a warning, or simply a presence reaching out from somewhere beyond. These intense moments aren't just passing feelings. Déjà vu is a reminder, a calling from another life that is yours yet isn't, nudging you to look closer, to remember that the story of you is far bigger than the path you can see. Sign 2. Vivid, repeating dreams with alternate realities. Dreams have a way of whisking us into strange worlds where the line between real and imagined blurs. We often wake from them feeling disoriented, as if we've just returned from a journey, a visit to another life that felt every bit as real as our own. But sometimes, a certain type of dream stands out, vivid, detailed, and hauntingly familiar. In these dreams, you're living a life that isn't yours, yet somehow it feels like it could be. Picture this. You're walking down a street in a city you've never visited, yet you know every turn. You see the faces of strangers, but they aren't strangers at all. You understand your place in this world, as if you've lived there all along. And when you wake, the feeling lingers, tugging at the edge of your memory, as though trying to remind you of something you've lost. These dreams are often different from ordinary ones. They don't fade away. Instead, they repeat with small details shifting, evolving, as though you're experiencing an ongoing story that unfolds across multiple nights. Some say these dreams are more than just imagination. They're windows into alternate realities, glimpses of other lives you might be living in parallel worlds. Imagine your life as just one thread in a vast tapestry of existence, with countless other threads representing different versions of you. In one reality, you might be an artist living by the sea. In another, a scientist exploring mysteries beyond the stars. Each thread weaves its own story, independent yet connected, each version of you living out choices that shape different lives. Dreams in this view act like a thin veil, a portal between your consciousness and those other threads. Through them, you may be visiting the lives of other yous, peering into the worlds they inhabit. Perhaps, while your physical body rests, your mind can travel, stepping into the roles of these other selves to experience their memories, thoughts, and emotions. You're not just an observer in these dreams, you're truly living, feeling, and breathing as this other person in a world that's somehow yours and not yours at once. These dreams are like postcards sent from another dimension, offering glimpses of roads not taken. The fact that they repeat, sometimes night after night, may be no accident. It's as if these other versions of you are reaching out, eager to share their stories, their warnings, or even their wisdom. They might show you experiences that mirror your own challenges, helping you see your current life from a different perspective. Or they might reveal lives that feel like whispers of forgotten potential, urging you toward new paths. Vivid repeating dreams of alternate realities are more than just surreal adventures. They are bridges between worlds, a way for you to remember that your story isn't limited to the reality you know. There are countless other yous, each living out its own journey, and through these dreams, they're letting you in. Sign 3. Sudden, unexplainable, emotions or instincts. There are moments in life when an emotion floods over you, sudden and intense, but it doesn't quite make sense. You're sitting at your desk, focused on a task, when suddenly an overwhelming sense of sadness washes over you. Or maybe you're enjoying a peaceful walk and an inexplicable wave of excitement pulses through you, as if something incredible is just about to happen. These emotions seem to arrive from nowhere, like a storm brewing on the horizon. Powerful, but with no clear source. In these instances, it can feel as though your current reality has been momentarily replaced by something else. You're standing in your own shoes, but the emotions you're experiencing don't fit with the situation at hand. It's like trying to wear someone else's clothes. Something doesn't align, but you can't put your finger on why. What if these emotions aren't coming from this reality at all? What if, instead, they're leaking through from parallel universes, from versions of yourself living lives that are entirely different? Think of each version of you as a person navigating a unique story. Perhaps one is facing a loss, while another is about to experience a thrilling success. These emotions might not belong to the life you're living, but instead to one of your parallel selves who is dealing with a situation you cannot fully comprehend. Imagine that, just like ripples on the surface of a pond. The choices and experiences of your alternate selves send vibrations through the web of your being. You might be walking down your street, content and calm, but at the same moment, another version of you is living out a heartbreaking moment or celebrating a triumph. And because all these lives are connected, their emotions can spill over into yours, crossing the boundaries between the lives you're living in different realities. These emotions might not always make sense, but that's the beauty of them. They speak to something deeper, something larger than just your current existence. You might feel intense fear when nothing is wrong, or elation when the moment doesn't seem to warrant it. It's as though, for a moment, the emotional experience of another you slips into your own consciousness, reminding you that your soul is part of something much bigger. It's not just a random feeling or a fleeting moment. It's a subtle message, a signal that your parallel selves are in motion, shaping your reality in ways you can't fully understand. The instinct to suddenly act on a feeling or the sudden rise of an emotion that doesn't belong to you could very well be these other yous trying to get through, pushing their energy into your world. Whether it's a warning, a call for help, or simply a shift of emotional energy from another reality, these moments serve as a reminder. There's more to your life than what you can see. Your emotions are part of a much larger, interconnected tapestry of experiences, and every now and then, one of those threads pulls at your heart, letting you feel the echoes of another life. Sign 4. Strong impulses or thoughts out of nowhere. There are times when an overwhelming impulse takes over, one that feels completely out of the blue. Maybe you're sitting on your couch, doing nothing in particular, when the sudden urge to get up and drive across town strikes you. No reason, no explanation. Or perhaps you're going about your day when a thought pops into your head. I need to call so-and-so. And it's not based on any current need or situation, but a deep, undeniable instinct to act. In these moments, it feels like something is quietly pushing you to follow a path you didn't plan, but one that seems to matter in ways you can't understand at the time. These impulses often don't make sense. You feel as though you need to go somewhere or do something, but the why escapes you entirely. You might suddenly feel drawn to a particular place you've never thought to visit before, or an intense urge to reconnect with someone you haven't spoken to in years. It's like a magnet pulling you in a direction, despite not knowing why you're being pulled. What if these instincts are not your own at all? What if they are coming from a parallel version of you who has already been there and knows what needs to be done? In the grand web of parallel universes, where countless versions of yourself exist, each one making different choices, some of these alternate you might be trying to send you a signal. Their lives may have already gone down paths that intersect with yours, and in moments like these, their experiences leak into your mind, guiding you towards something important. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. Your life is moving forward, and so are the lives of your parallel selves. Sometimes one of these other versions of you has already walked down a certain road and has learned something valuable from it, something that could help you in your current life. In those moments, the decisions, impulses, or thoughts you experience might be echoes from that version of yourself, urging you to take a step you would not have otherwise considered. These sudden impulses or thoughts are like messages traveling across dimensions from a you who already knows what's ahead. Maybe it's the version of you who already took that job and found it was life-changing, or the one who reached out to that long-lost friend, realizing the conversation was exactly what they needed. These flashes of intuition are their way of reaching out, offering you guidance through your own decisions. When these thoughts come out of nowhere, they may not be random at all. They could be bits of wisdom passed down from an alternate life, nudging you toward the right choice. You're not just following your instincts. You might be following the lead of a version of yourself who's already learned something crucial. So the next time you feel an unexplainable urge to act, take a moment to listen closely. It could be a piece of advice traveling from another reality, helping you find your way when you least expect it. Sign 5. Feeling watched or accompanied by an invisible presence. There are moments when you're alone, perhaps sitting in a quiet room, walking down an empty street, or lying in bed, but you suddenly get the unmistakable sensation that someone is nearby. It's not the feeling of just being watched. It's as if there's an invisible presence right next to you, a quiet observer who seems to be there without you seeing them. You might look around, expecting to find someone, but there's nothing. Yet the feeling doesn't fade. It lingers, like a soft, almost imperceptible energy in the air, suggesting that you are not truly alone. This sensation, eerie as it may be, is more common than you might think. Sometimes, it can feel like a comforting presence, as if someone is there to guide or protect you, or perhaps just to share the space with you. Other times, it might feel unsettling, like you're being watched by something or someone whose intentions you cannot understand. But regardless of the emotion it stirs, the feeling is undeniable. It's as though the space you occupy is shared by someone or something that you can't see, but that you somehow know is there. What if this sensation is not a random trick of the mind, but a reflection of something deeper? A kind of connection between you and one of your parallel selves. In the strange world of quantum mechanics, there is a theory called quantum entanglement, which suggests that particles can become interconnected, regardless of how far apart they are. Once entangled, the actions or states of one particle affect the other, even across vast distances. Now imagine that this concept extends beyond the tiny particles of the universe, connecting the lives of parallel versions of yourself. Perhaps the feeling of being watched or accompanied is not an isolated event at all, but a sign of resonance between you and another you existing in a parallel reality. When two versions of you are entangled through this quantum-like connection, it's as if your energy fields overlap, creating a shared space that transcends the limits of time and distance. One version of you might be experiencing something significant in their life, something emotional, transformative, or even mundane, and their energy might ripple through into your own reality, making you feel their presence. In these moments, it might feel like someone is close, not because they physically are, but because the emotional or energetic signature of your parallel self is reaching across the dimensions. This invisible presence could be a reflection of their awareness of you, or perhaps even a sign that your life and theirs are more interconnected than you realize. It's as if the universe itself is reminding you that you are part of something larger, a network of lives and experiences beyond the physical realm. The feeling of being watched or accompanied by an unseen presence could be a subtle nudge from the universe, a sign that your parallel selves are reaching out, perhaps even guiding you through moments of uncertainty or change. They are there, in the spaces between dimensions, just as you are here, in the present moment. And sometimes their presence is felt, even if you can't see them. Sign 6. Messages and symbols repeating around you. Have you ever noticed a certain number, word, or symbol popping up around you repeatedly, almost as if the universe is trying to catch your attention? Maybe it's a specific number that seems to show up everywhere, on the clock, in phone numbers, or on license plates. Or perhaps it's a certain word or phrase that keeps crossing your path in books, conversations, and advertisements. It could even be an object, a butterfly, a particular color, or a shape that seems to appear with uncanny frequency. These seemingly random patterns start to feel like more than just coincidence. They feel like a message, a sign, or even a calling that's specifically meant for you. It's as though the universe is whispering a secret through the repetition of symbols, waiting for you to decode the meaning. These signs might first appear as small, almost insignificant moments. A glance at the clock that shows 11:11, or a word in a song lyric that resonates deeply. But as they multiply, they begin to feel intentional, as though they're somehow tailored to your life, urging you to notice them. What if these repeating symbols aren't just random quirks of the universe? What if they're the result of a deeper connection between you and your parallel selves, trying to communicate something important to you? Imagine that each version of you, each parallel life, is on its own journey, but somehow they're aware of each other, intertwined through the fabric of existence. These symbols could be their way of reaching out, sending messages across the dimensions to help guide you or remind you of something crucial. Think of it like an intricate system of signals and codes, each parallel self sending out a pattern that carries meaning. Maybe one version of you is living a life that offers wisdom or insight that you haven't yet discovered in this reality. When that version of you encounters a certain symbol or number, they send it into the stream of your reality, hoping you'll notice it at the right time. It's like a breadcrumb trail, dropped in your path by another you, helping you navigate the choices and challenges ahead. These signs and symbols might not always make sense immediately. At first, they can seem like coincidences, little quirks of fate, but as they accumulate, you might begin to recognize them as more than mere happenstance. They become your personal code, a language from another version of yourself, a message telling you to pay attention or to follow a certain path. Perhaps the universe is trying to remind you that you're part of a much larger, interconnected existence, and the patterns you see around you are echoes from lives and dimensions you can't yet fully understand. So, the next time you encounter a symbol or number that seems to follow you, stop for a moment. Take a deep breath and consider the possibility. It could be more than just a random event. It might be a message from another you across the dimensions, guiding you, offering insight, or simply letting you know that you're not alone in this journey. The universe, it seems, is speaking to you in ways that are meant to be noticed, if you're willing to listen. Sign 7. Out-of-body experiences, or seeing another you. There are moments in life when you feel as though you're no longer just inhabiting your body, but instead observing yourself from a distance. It might happen when you're in deep thought, meditating, or in a dream-like state. Suddenly, you catch a glimpse of yourself from a third-person perspective. Your own image, but detached, as if you're an observer watching your life unfold. It's not just a memory or a fleeting thought. You see yourself as you truly are in that moment, almost as if you're standing beside yourself, watching you live your life. At other times, you might encounter an inexplicable double of yourself, whether in a dream, a moment of meditation, or even in a brief waking vision. It could be you, but not quite. The surroundings might be different, or there may be subtle shifts in the way you look or act. In some strange way, it feels like you're meeting another version of yourself, one that exists in a reality just a hair's breadth away from yours. These experiences, whether out-of-body sensations or encounters with a doppelganger, can feel startling, almost as if the boundary between your current self and an alternate version of you is momentarily erased. It's as if time and space have bent, allowing you to step outside of yourself and witness your life from an entirely different perspective. You might even feel a momentary connection with this other you, a feeling of recognition, like meeting a long-lost sibling. What if these occurrences aren't just random or fleeting moments of confusion? What if they are signs of an overlap between you and one of your parallel selves? Imagine the fabric of reality as a series of interconnected dimensions where each version of you is living out a different life, shaped by the choices you've made. In these moments of out-of-body experiences or encounters with doubles, it could be that the lines between these parallel lives blur, just for a split second, allowing you to witness yourself from another reality. In the realm of quantum physics, there's the idea that dimensions and timelines can occasionally intersect, allowing glimpses or even brief overlaps between realities. These slips or overlaps could manifest as these out-of-body experiences or doppelganger sightings. It's as if you've briefly stepped into the life of another version of yourself, or perhaps they've stepped into yours. In these moments, it's not just a vision. It's a meeting of lives, a brief crossing of paths between dimensions. These experiences are more than just strange anomalies. They are powerful reminders that the boundaries of our existence might not be as solid as we think. The version of you that exists in this moment is just one of many, and every now and then, the dimensions between you and your parallel selves may briefly merge, offering you a glimpse into another reality. Whether it's seeing yourself from a different angle or encountering a double in a dream, these moments are like windows, offering you a fleeting yet profound look into the vastness of who you are beyond this one life.